I know it's the last session. We'll try to make it, along with a little bit of fire. The name itself is Fire Chat. So let's see. Uh, in fact, to start with the tone, in fact, if you see, we were talking all the time about oil and gas for the right reason. And I think that's why we talk about net zero, not zero, right? We need to create a balance, and the balance will come from the alternate fuel, from the renewable fuel. And that's why you see us over here at the end of the day, perhaps. In fact, when you talk about energy transition and climate change, we are almost at the inflection point and we need to come out with a solution. We all know the problem and we need to talk about right now because we need something which can act as a transition fuel, at least to cater to the energy need. When you talk about biofuel, it's already there, especially when you talk about bioethanol. I think you must be hearing all the good news about it. We'll be talking about other side as well today. Apart from this, biogas. Well, biogas is nothing new. I don't know how many of you know. World's first biogas plant happened to be in India. I mean, to be exact, in Martinga leper colony in Mumbai. Atul ji is coming from Mumbai as such. So India has got a lot to contribute. That's what we feel. Personally, I spent a lot of time in Germany earlier. In fact, I was from oil and gas side working for Shell there. But what I realized that what we need in future is this biofuel as such. I think Shell in Germany right now, they are already working on SAF. They are already going to produce bio LNG, which can be one of the dream for us as well for the right reason once again. Without taking much time, then I would like to open the floor. And normally it's very important when you talk about biofuel that we talk about technical side for sure. We talk about financial side for sure. There is no if and but. That's why, because it's not sustainable financially perhaps for the time being, that's why you need subsidy. Push full thing. You need to give it a push from the policy side, from the money side, from XYG side. And finally, the market has to pull it. And third, but which is the most important part, is the social part. Because if you see the upstream side of it, especially the raw material, that is very, very, very important. Right now, I'm sitting in Delhi and perhaps a million tons of waste is available, organic waste is available. But is it available to me? This is where the whole social engineering model comes in picture, that there is a lot of difference between potential and potential that can be harnessed. And that's why sitting over here, otherwise, a goal without a plan is just a wish. So we don't want to talk about the wish. We want to talk about the concrete plan, which can be executed, and very important in Indian scenario. I repeat, in Indian scenario, because we have got a different social scenario. For example, India is a relationship driven society. I keep talking about it and we should be proud of it. I'm not saying that we don't need system, but it's a relationship driven society. When I was a kid, my father used to call someone, someone used to call someone, and the train ticket used to come at home. And this is how the society used to work, this relationship driven society. I think when you talk about biomass, a lot has to be done from the social side. We need to think from the farmer's perspective, that perhaps he is not able to pay 300 rupees per month, but he'll be able to pay 10 rupees per day. So we need to try to understand what can be done and how it can be done. I think with this, I would like to open the floor. And one of the requests to the panelists over here is that we don't want to bombard with a lot of data and a lot of other information right now. I think you guys already have a lot in the whole day. Perhaps we would like to give you the feel about the whole sector. Perhaps we would like to give you something which can be achieved not only right now, in the future as well, and in the rightful manner. The spirit is very high. In fact, when you talk about biofuel, I'm sure you must be reading that in media very often, that this is being done from Reliance, from Adani, from many other entrepreneurs. So with this, I would like to open the floor. And again, technical, financial and social. So maybe Kulkarni ji, you are the director at CHT, Center for High Technology, MOPNG. So you must be dealing with technology every day. So one of the question very often which comes to us is, what about the technology? What about the TRL level, in fact, technology readiness level? Is it good to go? If yes, then how can we scale it up? Because investors normally they come to us and they ask for the due diligence, and many a times I would say that we fail in this direction. Maybe some thoughts from your side on this?
Very good evening to all of you. I'm very happy to be part of this August gathering, and thanks ET Energy for giving me an opportunity. Normally, when I get up, I just see what is the update on ET Energy through email. So it has become a part of our life. Like the first mail I see is probably the ET Energy because it gives a summary. Because many times when you read through the entire newspaper, we find nothing for as a takeaway. But this is quite interesting. I just wanted to just roll back a little. Throughout the day, we have been talking about the energy transition. Now, the transition is a part of the journey. If you look at maybe 4 decades, probably when I joined organization, those days the computers were quite bulky, and we used to have series of floppy drive. Now, where are the floppy drives? This is all Google Drive. So nothing is available in floppy form. Then even the communication system, entire thing has changed. Like mobile also, we see once upon a time this uh, the mobile was non-Android or say, and then suddenly we found a sea change. Mobile was only for limited to talking. Now it is entire gadget, entire financial, everything is being done through mobile. So we have been seeing this transition throughout our journey. Once upon a time, we used to say that Y2K is going to be a crashing, but we simply pass through without unhurt. So this is just the background that, and I'm sure that the gathering of the scientists and the technocrats over here, they can swiftly go through this energy transition. Now we have seen that uh, first we introduced this this BS1 fuel way back in 2000. Now we are already leapfrog to BS6, and now we don't know whether anything beyond BS6 is available. Now only the engine modification to make the environment more friendly, because our next generation also need to survive, because we have only one planet to survive. We can send our rockets to moon for survey, but we have to live on this earth only. So I see that along with the fossil fuel, biofuel have a bigger role to play. As we have seen that biofuel getting matured, we have seen that ethanol percentage through ethanol bonding program, we have almost 10% target was given in 21-22, which was achieved well before the time. We are now close to 12% ethanol blending, and with 509 ethanol crore liter blending, we could save 24,300 crores of foreign exchange, and it is a remuneration to farmers also. So I see that a lot of potential in the ethanol blending program, and government is coming in a very big way. Like there is always a fight like feed versus fuel, but we require both. So a fine balance is being done. There are policy interventions. 2G ethanol is also coming up. 2G ethanol already 8 plants have been sanctioned. So I'll come in the next round. This is my opening remark.
Thanks a lot. That's very interesting. In fact, the only thing which is constant is the change, right? So we keep seeing. I was just discussing with him that in 1900, London Municipal Corporation, they were planning that in 100 years we'll have so many horses that we need to take care of horse dung like anything. But in 100 years, what happened? They have cars everywhere, so we need to really see how the market dynamics work. A lot has to be considered from the social side as well. Maybe with this I will come to you, sir, Mr. Gupta, who is the executive director alternative energy and sustainable development at Indian Oil, because PSU has got a very big role to play when you consider the whole value chain, especially when I see on the downstream side, you need to really play a big role, especially to offtake and all this kind of thing. What is your opinion? Especially, Government of India is very bullish about, let's say, 5,000 bio CNG plants. They are coming up with a lot of push factors, state subsidy, central subsidy, policy, in fact, push. So it would be quite good to hear from you. What about PSU? How do they think and how do they want to give it a push?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. Very good evening to all of you. In fact, it's this session is very important in the sense I was also following a couple of panels because LNG and the gas infrastructures, the time lag which India suffered, which one of the expert has very rightly pointed out, that why world is at 24%, we are at 6%. So this is going to be a lesson which we have learnt in a very tough way because we still think that we should have been more than 24%. World may average with 24%. One of our state can do 24%. Why not we? Rightly so, when we saw that one of the experts said that infrastructure in the east. So here, when we started the bio route, this is, again I tell, our ethanol blending program started in 2001. We could achieve 5% blending during 2018. Now, from there, we could achieve 10% blending in 2022. And now from there, we are going to achieve 20% blending by 2025. So look at the journey, 2001 to 2018, 17 years to reach 5%. And then onwards, from 18 to 25, 7 years, from 5% to 20%. That's the capability of the country. That's the potential of the country. We have never estimated rightly that, yes, we can do it. It's a commitment, what we saw as a public sector undertaking, because as you know, Indian Oil, we are leading the whole energy landscape through this, any fuel you can talk about. But when we see the biofuel per se, I am involved in this biofuel for last 12 years. We have seen ethanol blending at 0.6%, where the people used to say, Shantanu, what you are doing, wasting your time. इस पे कुछ होने वाला नहीं है. But somehow we got our team very passionate. Then we took it up that as a challenge. Yes, we must make it. And I give the full support to the government of India that they have, at the right point of time, the national biofuel policy was brought in. And then the strict implementation of the policy, absolutely strict implementation of policy, which is required. As a country of us, we know we prefer to as okay. Unless it is continuously followed up, people say, okay, you can relax. But there is no time of relaxing. Frankly speaking, public sector undertakings are doing amazing jobs by keeping the whole knot on the hand. We must do. That is the result of ethanol. We are doing at 12% consistently today. And there is a growth curve. Investments are coming up, barring some of the hiccups, which is going to happen. But we can also overcome that because the moment ecosystem is ready, you have alternatives to bank upon. Like if you stop grains, you have damaged grains, you have sweet beets, we have sweet sorghum, all other alternatives, but the ecosystem is ready. So once it is coming, it can be processed. CBG also started like this, 2018, when Satat we launched. In fact, Indian Oil was declared as the national coordinator for this. And there was huge, expectations that 5,000 plants will do. And 15 million metric ton and 50 million metric ton of 15 million metric ton of gas and 50 of manure. So I say that was a bit early to gauge that what all we require for making biogas popular or make available. In the sense, yes, our earlier speakers has already said, oil infrastructure was already available for long. Transporting oil is much easier, definitely so, than gas. Gas needs a typical different infrastructures altogether. And if that gas is coming from an alternate sources, there is a collection challenge, there is an aggregation challenge of the waste. And you know the municipal waste, even you can touch your heart and tell, I am not segregating waste at my home. If few of you are doing, I give you credit, you should be awarded. And that's the beginning. I personally think with my last 5 years, extensively biogas driving, we are leading the whole industry and making the policies for Government of India, the draft policies which we are trying to have with our discussion with stakeholders, discussion with suppliers, discussion with technologies providers, discussion with banks. It's a continuously we are doing this. So today we can say the awareness has started coming in. In fact, thanks to the children today, the school-going children, they stop their parents and they educate them. Papa, don't throw waste out from your car. Don't smoke and throw the butt out. All those things are coming from them, right? We have spoiled habits through our practices. I'm telling you, the day you start segregating your wet waste and dry waste in your kitchen, India will win the game. Because if you see the 12,000 ton of waste being thrown in the country with capital of our country, out of that 6,000 is wet waste, which he was just mentioning. If we can organize that waste, 6,000 ton daily, just gauge how much energy you can get in the form of biogas. State 5% of that. This will take care of the major requirement of the Delhi city and the gas infrastructure. And if you can blend this gas with LNG through that CNG, what you are doing? You are getting a green gas, emission is reduced by 3 times. You have an opportunity to utilize that waste. The waste is not going to the dump. The land acreage is becoming free, the very costly land you can do. We can do development programs, we can develop the city. And each the city like big metros and second tier, third tier cities, if we start today, then it will not take some time. It's a maximum couple of years. Technology is available, infrastructures will be ready, financing bank will be very happy. Bank's question is that, look, who will guarantee you the segregated waste? Definite question.
Yep.
There is no answer. So banks are also shaky. I cannot give the money when you are not assured about your feedstock coming continuously. Similarly, for the burning of the pareli, the paddy straw burning, that other burning is happening, millions of tons are getting burnt. The energy portion is lost and smoke is there all around. Who going to blame? That is where we took. I can tell you that there is a very serious move by Government of India and also the all public sector undertakings. And now private sectors have got confidence. Banks are also getting confidence because I take a role of PSU as the game changer because you invest, you develop, you show this is possible and give the others to follow. It's the same way it happened. All the things happening, like if you see the telecommunication when BSNL was leading. So this cycle should start. And this has already started. And I am very hopeful by 2027-28. Personally, I believe 5,000 plants will come. And my country, whatever waste is available, we can go for 20,000 plants. So we are not going to stop at 5,000. The number maybe you can tell, oh my God, what your number telling us? Sorry. I don't believe in that. The work is on. We can assure all of you. This ecosystem change has started. Awareness has started developing. Banks are changing their mind. Technology providers are coming. Like you have said, German has done amazing jobs. Denmark, we are in touch of Germany, Denmark, US. Everybody has taken that $1 trillion of investment in biogas. And especially in the time when decarbonization is the only thing. And we have already declared our net zero by 2070. So I am very sure about that we are going to reach that target.
Thank you, sir. Hope is the rope on which life swings, for sure. And that's true for biofuel as well. In fact, we did a study for World Bank and we realized that we can easily harness around 60 million metric ton per annum as far as the CBG is concerned or bio CNG is concerned. And I don't know how much we are importing right now, perhaps 23, 24 million metric ton per annum, 25, yeah. So definitely we can do that from potential perspective. Maybe I jump to you, Mr. Kharate, who is the CEO of IoT Biogas, which is now Adani Indian Oil Venture. So what's your understanding as far as the challenges and opportunities are concerned, especially from the corporate perspective? Because ultimately there has to be a business element, right? At the same time, you need to sensitize everyone, be it a common person, be it, I don't know, ministers, be it bankers, to really make this happen. So how do you take this kind of challenges and what's your take on it?
Yeah, good evening all. Thanks for this question, Gauravji. So when we see it from the industry perspective, basically industry needs a couple of key things. One is the demand, and we have been discussing it since morning. There is a huge demand for the bio and other bio-related products like ethanol, biodiesel, and maybe an SAF in the coming days. So that is very proven for a country like India. So we are the third largest energy consumer today, and we will be a second largest energy consumer by 2040. And the way we are growing in terms of economy, our needs in the coming days are substantially higher compared to the rest of the world. So coming back to the policy and framework is one of the another fundamental requirement which we see as an industry. I can very proudly say that a lot of things are happening in and around this in India. And government mechanism is really collaborating with people like us and putting the policies and framework. I should take this opportunity to thanks the various relevant ministries like MOPNG, MNRE, and all our oil marketing companies as well. Second point, which I can see as a scope for improvement, is a bit thrust over the R&Ds. When I say R&D, it has to be a India-specific R&Ds. All our prime institutions like IITs and IIM, we can put it for the job like indigenous R&D, which can help us industry in the shortest span possible. Because we see apart from the raw material technology as a challenge, supply chain management for this type of goods to have a sizable growth in the coming years. So there is a scope for these aspects too. The another important factor from the India perspective, the GBA, the Global Biofuel Alliance, which was a lead from Government of India. And last few days back, we all were in Dubai. Mr. Shantanu ji, he was here. He was lead from industry for that Dubai conference. And lot of thrust and lot of expectation from the whole globe in terms of India's role in this space in the coming days. So that is one of the area which industry again looking towards as an having a collaborative approach. Again, using this platform to adapt global and proven practices across the various domain. Say for example, if it is an ethanol, if Brazil and US, they are the number one and they have been doing the best in the globe, we have to see how can we use those practices in a time-bound manner here. EVs, if it is coming to EVs, then there are countries like China, what type of infrastructure, at what space, at what speed we can do those things. When it comes to a place like CBG, as Shantanu has mentioned, a lot of things has happened. We are very positive as an industry towards this growth too, because the raw material available in the country is in the tune of say more than 700 mmTPA. With that type of raw material, we can easily produce 65 to 70 mmTPA of gas. And under Satat scheme, we are targeting 15 mmTPA. So very much feasible. Rather, there is an immediate need to have a much modernized Satat 2.0, which I think already the oil marketing companies have started thinking towards it. So as an industry perspective, we are having very positive approach. And couple of things, I think in terms of timeline, whatever the support government is providing, that has to provided in the shortest possible span, so that next 2 decades will be real and journey of us as a country towards this energy transition and energy transformation.
Thank you. I think it's already time's up, but nevertheless, I will take 2 more minutes, in fact. So thanks a lot. It's very, very important to have the pull factor as I was talking. I think that's the flavor Mr. Kharate was trying to give. And fortunately, we are working in that direction, and it has to be a collaborative approach. It can't be, the job of an individual or an organization as such, and which is happening. So maybe, a very, very quick remark from everyone. If we have to achieve one thing to really give it a push, further push to this sector, what will that be?
I am quite positive on the 2G ethanol project being supported. Almost 8 plants are already been
What's
sanctioned.
that one thing you would like to have?
See, we are working on the enzyme development in India.
So basically
that is
R&D
going to
perspective,
come
yeah.
down on the commercial part of the 2G ethanol project.
Okay, so that's from the R&D perspective. You want to give it a push from the enzyme or culture perspective.
Exactly.
Okay, thank you. What about you, Mr. Gupta?
I strongly pitch for the state governments. They should be serious first.
Okay, glad. So maybe they
The
give that extra
policies which
subsidy.
we are developing, implementation of the policy, there should be a dedicated, officer on special duty and the team who will be taking care of these things.
Okay, but fortunately in this space, when we talk about the blending of gas,
Yeah.
then they don't need to deal with the state government. Central government is coming directly in picture, right?
Central government has pitched in, but implementation has to be done by central government.
Okay.
Because
Fair
collection of raw materials, these are all are there with each state. Burning of parallel is happening in the state, and the state people at the worst state, then Delhi.
understandable.
If you can imagine, it's burning there.
Yeah.
It's only so we have to be big responsibility for that. So charity begins at home.
Fair enough.
There is the basic terms. So I think that's one. And mandate is going to help a lot in that.
Okay, glad. Mr. Kharate?
Yeah, so I think ethanol is a big success for us as a country. So we have we have to adopt the good practices what has been basically we inculcated in the progress of this journey of ethanol, and similar sort of support can be provided to the upcoming biofuels, like whether it is CBG or it's a biodiesel. Lot of thrust need to be put for biodiesel as well, and maybe the upcoming fuels like SAF, etc.
So basically, we need to learn from the best practices and try to adopt that. Thank you. Thanks a lot. It was really, really glad to be a part of it. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thanks, everyone. Have a nice evening.